We are on the road to WrestleMania 31, ladies and gentlemen, and what better stop than to review arguably the greatest WrestleMania of all time, WrestleMania 17. The reason why I say arguably is because when we talk about the greatest WrestleMania, I think the two WrestleManias that usually come into play are this one and WrestleMania 19, so that's why I said arguably this is the greatest WrestleMania of all time, because, you can pretty much debate which one's better. But yeah, this is part of the my series. Well, not series, but trying to get myself hyped up for WrestleMania 31. I've been watching some old WrestleManias. A few days ago, I watched WrestleMania 15. Yesterday, I watched this one, and I'll probably watch another one this weekend. Then I'll probably end up watching the True Story of WrestleMania to wrap up kind of my mania. I don't want to say binge watching, but I guess my little WrestleMania is gonna be pumped up for WrestleMania 31. So I'm here to review WrestleMania 17, and without further ado, let's get right into the review. Alright, of course, on the cover here, you have the WrestleMania 17 logo right there. Houston, we have a problem. Of course, you got Stone Cold The Rock, which is the main event, a special 2-disc DVD set from the Astrodome on April 1st, 2001. Just looking at this cover is so iconic. Just looking at it, you get chills just looking at it. WrestleMania 17. You can either have the DVD copy of this, the VHS, the anthology version, or you can watch it on the network. So you can pretty much watch this on the network if you have it. This is pretty hard to come by to own. So if you don't have this on VHS or DVD or the anthology, definitely recommend just watching on the network, because this is really expensive and it's really hard to come by and find. Here's a spine right there that looks like on your shelf if you have the DVD. Here's the back. Stone Cold The Rock stare down right there. Record-breaking crowd of 67,925 was on hand for a historic night, which included T.L.C. 2, a father-son war, and a championship match with an ending you won't believe. There are the featured matches, and the DVD extras right there. So that's what the back of the DVD looks like. You open it up. 2-disc set right there. You have disc 1, then disc 2, and you have the insert, which you open it up. On disc 1, you have the Play It Now, and you have the matches on disc 1 right there. Then you have the flashbacks, pretty much the video packages and everything, and extra stuff right there. And then on disc 2, this is on disc 2 right here, the matches, and then the extras, flashbacks, and more extra stuff right there. So yeah. And then the very back of this, you have the full match listing. But yeah, WrestleMania 17, like I said, arguably the greatest WrestleMania of all time. This is such an easy and relaxed show to sit through and watch. So much fun. This is, everyone says this is the ending of the Attitude Era, and, the Attitude Era couldn't have ended on a much better way than it did here. This was just an awesome, awesome, awesome show. Amazing show. Like I said, arguably the greatest. And, I would say this is the greatest WrestleMania of all time. This is just so much fun to sit through and watch. And if you have not seen this WrestleMania for whatever reason yet, go out of your way to see it, because this is just simply amazing and needs to be seen by every wrestling fan. So definitely, WrestleMania 17 is a must-see. You open the show up with the WWF Intercontinental Championship Match. You have Chris Jericho being the champion versus William Regal being the WWF Commissioner at the time. Fun opener here, very easy to sit through and watch. Jericho and Regal, their feud was kind of weird. They showed a little video package. Basically, the only reason why it came about was because Jericho made fun of him when he first got the commissioner role. But solid opener here. Not too much to talk about, but it was a good opener. Jericho retains the Lion Salt, so good stuff there to open up. Next we have a 6-man tag team match. We have APA and Tazz versus Right to Censor, which was actually honestly a lot of fun. This was only about a couple minutes. I'd say no more than 4 or 5 minutes. But in that time frame, you definitely got all 6 guys definitely went all out, and definitely provided a fast-paced 6-man match, I thought, and for what it was fun. I enjoyed it. Right to Censor, every time I see them, I can't help but think of how that is such a random stable full of such random guys. It's just Val Venus, Bull Buchanan, and the Good Father. During that gimmick, it was just such a random, group of guys. But yeah, that was a fun tag team match right there. I thought Bradshaw getting the victory with the clothesline from Hell to win. So yeah, fun 6-man tag. Then we go on to a surprisingly very fun match as well. A WWF Triple Threat Hardcore Championship match. Raven champion versus Big Show versus Kane. It doesn't sound good, but honestly, this was a lot of fun. Especially the backstage brawls and everything, just throwing guys through windows, going through fences. It was honestly a lot of fun. There's a portion of the match where they brawled in the crowd, so you couldn't really see what was going on for a little bit, because just everyone was crowding them, so the cameraman couldn't really keep up with it. But it was surprisingly a lot of fun. kind of awesome finishing too. Big Show and Raven going off the side stage, and then Kane just doing a big leap onto both of them to pin for the 1, 2, 3. So honestly, it was a lot of fun. You wouldn't expect it, but for what the 10 minutes you got of it, I honestly can say I was very entertained, and it was a very awesome match, I thought. So good stuff there. And then we go to the WWF European Championship match. Tazz being the champion versus Eddie Guerrero. Good match here. I honestly couldn't get into it. I don't know. This honestly, you'd probably say is a piss break match of the show, to be honest. Just nothing bad about it, but honestly, nothing really gravitated my attention, and I was kind of sitting there like, you know what, can this end already? So, decent match, nothing special. Malenko and Perry and Saturn got involved, which led to Eddie Guerrero winning the title. So, decent match. Just not a lot to talk about, and honestly, I honestly couldn't get into it. That's just me though. And then we're going to Kurt Angle versus Chris Benoit, which was an awesome match here. At first it started off as technical. Both guys are just getting very technical at the first beginning of it, and then you had the whole Kurt Angle snap thing where he just he realizes he's losing the amateur wrestling style, so he just goes to straight brawling and starts hitting them. Then they get into like an actual wrestling match. But yeah, just awesome match here. Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit are two guys that I've never seen them have a match that wasn't great. I've seen, hell, the Royal Rumble 2003 match. That's amazing. Probably their best match they've ever had. Just those two guys are just phenomenal together, and it definitely personified it here. And they put on an awesome match, in which I understand they continued the feud after the show, obviously, but I kind of didn't like how this whole match was revolved out. Benoit made Kurt Angle tap. Not in a match, but him tap out, in the ring. So it was the whole match was based about, who's going to submit who. And the match ended with a crucifix, or a roll-up, sorry, one of the two. Which I kind of didn't like, but I understand why they did at the same time, though. So I kind of was like, come on, I want to see one of the guys tap out. But Angle won with a roll-up by holding it tight, so he beat Chris Benoit, which would, later culminate into a backstage segment with, Benoit attacking Kurt Angle and put him in the crossface. But great match there, just awesome. Then we go to the WWF Women's Championship match, Ivory being the champion versus Chyna. Nothing to talk about there, just, pretty much Chyna beating Ivory for the title. Just nothing literally happened in that match, so yeah. And then we go to the WWF Street Fight match, Shane McMahon versus Mr. McMahon with Mick Foley as special guest referee. Awesome match here, honestly. This is one of the matches where not a lot happens, but it's fun to watch. You had Shane McMahon beat the holy hell out of Vince the entire match. You had, where Shane flies to the table and Stephanie moves Vince out of the way, and Shane just hits the table and slides off into the barricade, which is hilarious. And then you have Trish and Linda come out, and the whole culminate of the moment where Vince has Linda in the ring. She's medicated, she's down, and Vince tries to hit Shane for a third time with the trash can, and the pop Linda gets is, I think, way more bigger than they expected it to be. That was awesome, pop by far, and it was a huge pop. Linda finally gets hands on Vince, and Shane gets the win with the coast to coast. So not a lot happens, but the story behind it and the moment that I had with Linda at the very end made the match very fun and enjoyable. So solid match there. And then we're going to TLC 2 match, Dudley Boyz being champions versus Edge and Christian versus the Hardy Boys. I think the match speaks for itself. This is arguably the greatest TLC match of all time. Just every team beating holy hell out of each other to the point where Spike Dudley came out for the Dudley Boys. Rhino came out for Edge and Christian, and Lita came out for the Hardy Boys. So it pretty much came into like a 9-person TLC match, which kind of got out of hand, but just chaos all around. People getting thrown through tables. Jeff Hardy swan-tying off ladders through tables. Power bombs, just destructive, and the match speaks for itself. And if you've seen it, I don't need to really sell you on the match. I don't think this match needs to be sold on anyone, because everyone knows how amazing this match was, and it really personified it there. Edge and Christian have won the tag team titles in this match, and just a hellacious battle, of those three teams, proving why those three teams are the three greatest tag teams, or one of the three greatest tag teams to ever live. Those just those three tag teams. Every time you got those guys in one match, whether it's SummerSlam or WrestleMania 2000, the ladder matches, just you're in for something special, and they definitely personified it here. So amazing match. And then we go to the Gimmick Battle Royal. Those are contestants. Yeah, no one gave a flying shit about this match at all. I guess the only thing worthy mentioning is Iron Sheik won, and at the very end they had a whole thing with Iron Sheik and Sergeant Slaughter. So really nothing much there, but yeah, you can easily tell no one gave it two shits about that match. And then we're going to Triple H versus Undertaker. This is the first WrestleMania match of the 3, and definitely had a great match here. I love how they really spent the majority of this match was just spent on the outside. The referee got knocked down, and they really brawled outside, and they got to this little camera stand area where Undertaker chokeslammed Triple H off of it. Onto padding. You can clearly see he lands on padding. I don't know why they really made effort to show they landed on padding. I thought that was kind of dumb on their part. But just an awesome match here. It was just an all-out war. They finally got back to the ring, and the referee was still knocked down. I don't know why this match wasn't like a no DQ or some kind of gimmick match, to be honest, because that's pretty much what they did the entire match. It's the referee was knocked down. They pretty much did where the hell they wanted to. So that's pretty much what it was. And I love the spot where Undertaker goes for the last ride, and Triple H has a sledgehammer, and Triple H hits the Undertaker with a sledgehammer, and when he hits him, the sledgehammer spins 20 times in the air. I don't know how that happened, but it did. I don't know. I just find that hilarious how that happened. But just a great match here. Undertaker wins with the last ride to go 9-0 at WrestleMania. So this is really before the streak was really acknowledged. They acknowledged he was undefeated, but they didn't really, it didn't get to the point where it's the streak. It was just he was undefeated at the time, and that's all it was. So great match there, just a great war. And then we go to the main event, which was the WWF Championship match, which was a no DQ match. The Rock being the champion for Stone Cold Steve Austin. Don't need to explain myself for this match at all. Hands down the best match those guys have ever had. Just an all-out war. It's a masterpiece. From the blood to them beating the hell out of each other. It was just a beautiful match. But the one complaint I do have about this match though is the fact that they had the Rock kick out of so many stunners and chair shots to the head. Austin Lee stunned him 3 times, and he hit him in the head of the chair 4 times, and the Rock kicked out of every single one. And Rock hit one rock bottom on Steve Austin, and they had when Vince came out, Vince kept pulling the ref out so the Rock wouldn't win. So I kind of didn't like how they made Austin seem like he couldn't beat Rock, but it made it seem like Rock could beat Austin no problem. So I kind of didn't like that, but I understood where they're going towards. Of course, at the very end of the match, just Austin beating Rock down with a steel chair with no remorse, just completely relentless on him, just beating him down and pinning him and winning the title, and then shaking his hand with Vince at the very end. I understood what it was leading toward, the moment it was leading towards, but at the same time, it's kind of come on, it's kind of overdoing it. The fact that he kicked out of multiple chair shots to the head and stunners, kind of come on, man, come on. 1 or 2 I understand, but multiple, I wasn't a fan of that. That's just a little thing. I'm not gonna let that kill the entire match for me, but that's just one thing that really bothered me about that match. But like I said, masterpiece, amazing match, best match they ever had. WrestleMania 17, phenomenal WrestleMania. Like I said, arguably the greatest WrestleMania of all time. You can debate that with, this show in 19. But definitely, if you have this, awesome. If not, well, just if you have the network, you're good, because this is really hard to come by. I was lucky enough to find this at a DVD store locally for $17, I believe. Nope, great price considering it's WrestleMania 17. But yeah, I got it for cheap. So if you can get it for cheap somehow, definitely pick it up. But if not, just rely on the network for this. But thank you guys for watching this video. Like I said, probably I don't know if I mentioned it or not at the very beginning of it, because this is actually my second take making this video. But I'll probably review one more WrestleMania, and then I'll probably review the True Story WrestleMania before I leave for WrestleMania 31. So just tune in for those videos. But thank you guys for watching this video. Thank you guys for supporting my channel, and thank you for everything you guys have done for me, because without you guys I wouldn't be making these videos. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and until next time, I'll see you guys later.